So, you're walking along merrily, dancing and singing and marveling in the beauty of creation. And somebody comes along, perhaps somebody that you don't know, a stranger, or perhaps an acquaintance, or perhaps a close person to you, whom you may have an intimate relationship with in one way or another, comes to you and says, uh, I don't, your hair looks weird today, or you may have just gotten a haircut, and they may say something like, I like your old hair more. It looked nicer. Or, they might have looked at your clothes and said something like, this shirt's too bright. Or, they might have gone even a little bit deeper and said something like, said something in regards to your mannerism or your behavior. Like, I remember a friend one time, a close friend of mine. We were in the mall. We were just walking around. He needed to get something, and I was there, and I was on acid at the time, but not. It was like between a microdose and a macrodose, and I was sort of freely just being, right? Just being and being loud, and I was like singing and dancing in the middle of it. And he told me, your behavior, it's a little embarrassing. He said something like, it's a little embarrassing, like, you should just kind of quiet down the energy a little bit. And so sometimes, a lot of times, all the time actually, you'll get these comments even from people close to you, friends and family, and lovers and strangers. You're bound to get these comments. No, like you all of you have received them at one point or another, probably still receiving these comments. So, it's very, very easy to hold a grudge and take it personally. It's very easy to say, well, this person doesn't like me, and they don't want to be around me, and I feel butthurt. Very, very easy. It's like an instant reaction to this comment. Okay, I'm gonna hold a grudge against you, or I'm gonna say something back. I'm gonna wait for it. I'm not gonna forget, and at some point I'm gonna slip you a comment. I'm gonna give you a little one, pull a fast one on you. Like, I'm gonna wait for the right time. I'm gonna wait for you to make a mistake, right? And tell you how I think of you. Okay, so this is very easy, and this is where it's very important to bring some awareness and understanding to what actually is taking place in these encounters, in these situations, and really see things as they are. Buddha said that our predicament, the reason why we're stuck in this cycle of death and rebirth, repeating the same karma, the same things that are keeping us stuck, is our ignorance, and that understanding and then application of that understanding is how you liberate yourself. So, let's bring some insight, let's bring some understanding into the table and apply it. Okay, let's take the example of my friend who told me made that remark when we were hanging out. This was about a year ago, maybe a little more. So, my friend admittedly has problems expressing himself. Okay, he said this to me over and over. He has problems expressing himself. So, if you have problems expressing yourself, it means you have problems accepting yourself and accepting how the Tao manifests through you, how the Tao expresses itself through you. Because if you are in total acceptance with how the Tao is Taoing, okay, then you will have absolutely no problem expressing yourself in any way. Okay, and the expressions, and I'll explain to you in a minute here. The expressions can be anything. They can be loud, they can be quiet. Because look around you, look at nature, look at the sea, the ocean. Sometimes the ocean is loud and ferocious, and other times it's very calm and quiet. Because that's the way the Tao expresses itself in that moment. Sometimes it's loud and ferocious, other times it's completely quiet and calm. And so, if you're in total acceptance of how the Tao expresses itself through you, then you will have no problem expressing yourself however the expression is manifesting. So, because my friend in that case has these personal problems, he is inclined to be frustrated about it. So when he sees somebody else, a close friend of him, going about manifesting the expression as is, he's going to have to be, or sorry, he feels inclined to say something in order to justify why he's not expressing himself, why he's not accepting himself. Now, at the time, I took it personally, which is why I remember the example, because he's a very close friend of mine. And at the time, I took it personally, and I actually stopped hanging out with him for some time. We didn't talk for like 3 months after. It was after that incident. I took it personally, but I had to reflect on it also. And I picked up the phone and called him 3 months later. But I had to really reflect on this before I could just give him a call and say, let's hang out, like nothing happened. I had to let go of it and just forget it. Nothing happened, new moment. But I took it personally at the time. I thought, well, why is he saying that? He doesn't like me or something? We've been friends all this time, and what is he? He's not accepting me? Why is he not accepting me? Why is he not accepting the way I am? I got butthurt. I took it personally. I took it with me. I went into the storyline of my ego, who I think I am, my place in the world, and I said, well, and then I start to even doubt myself a little. Should I behave myself here? Should I not do this? Should I not behave that way? Should I not be dancing and around in the store? Like, should I? I even start to doubt myself. I start to doubt the expression, that pure, because it's just the Tao is. It is what it is. It just expresses itself, and that's the way it was expressing itself. And the thing with psychedelics, you can't hide. There's no place to hide. You just are who you are, right? They show you your greatest potential. So then in that state, I was just being, right? Just being. And so I started to doubt myself. It's like, should you behave differently in society, Saeed? Now, that I stopped talking to him, and I was like, took it personally. I really just like, I didn't want to hang out with him. I didn't want to be around him. I didn't want to see him. And I had to reflect on that for months. And then I had actually come to the realization that, hold on, like that, nothing anybody ever does is because of you, it's because of them. That we're always projecting at all times. We're always projecting. We're always projecting our dissatisfaction with the way the Tao manifests itself through us. In other words, lack of self-acceptance. I wouldn't even say self-love, self-acceptance. Because in an acceptance, once you accept something or someone, you're able to roll and roam freely, joyfully, and therefore lovingly. And that comment, which my friend has made, is simply comes down to his own lack of acceptance of the expression of the way of the Tao through him. So the comment was made to project the dissatisfaction, the unsatisfaction of lack of self-acceptance and lack of self-expression. Okay? I remember another time it happened to me in the gym. Because when in the days that I used to go to the gym, I again was just a wild animal in the gym, sort of dancing and singing and sometimes making loud noises on the last rep. You know what I'm talking about. And I never really gave a shit. I really never gave a shit. And if I was to go back in the gym, I would not give a shit. Uh, and then my friend told me, because I had a friend, my training partner, God bless his soul, amazing guy. He told me there's a lot of people in the gym that don't like you. And I heard somebody said that I want to beat the shit out of him. And I wasn't really surprised because in a previous period of my life, I would see these types of characters in the gym and I would want to do the same. I feel like I want to beat the shit out of them and like, why are they being like that? It's because I couldn't express myself in that way. I couldn't express myself in that way. On the contrast, I had several people come up to me in the gym say, the way you are just yourself and the way you just dance and do everything, it's like really inspires me. So you could see your job is actually to be detached from both. Because you see that at all times people are simply projecting to you what is happening to them in that moment. So somebody comes up, says, I admire the way you are authentic and you express yourself. That's because that's where they are. They're projecting onto you that this is where they are right now. They're trying to gain courage and authenticity, so they see it in somebody else and they're inclined to admire it. Somebody else, unsatisfied with themselves, is going to project to you that unsatisfactoriness. So we're always projecting. Every single person is always projecting. Now notice yourself. If you see somebody and you don't like anything about them, that's because there's something you don't like about yourself that you don't accept. And then you see something about somebody else and you don't like it, you don't accept it. And that you could even take it on a macrocosm. If you don't accept life as it is, if you're gonna go up the microcosm, because if you don't accept life as it is, that's the macrocosm, you're not gonna accept yourself as you are. And that's the microcosm of life, because you're from life, you're from nature. So if you don't accept life as it is, you don't accept the good and evil, duality, everything as it is, there's gonna be something in yourself that you don't accept as it is. And then you start to project it onto other beings around you. And I catch myself doing that all the time. And then I ask myself, what is it about life? I go straight to the source. I say, what is it about life, Saeed, that you're not accepting right now? That is leading to you to not accept yourself. That is leading you to not accept others. Something, a trait in others that you not accept. And then I go back, and if I am in a state of total acceptance of what is, I accept life as it is. I accept that it's windy and rainy and cloudy outside. I accept that there's good and evil. I accept that there are ecological disasters happening on Earth right now. I accept suffering. I accept everything as it is. I accept my mom. I accept my dad. I accept my mom's complaining about certain aspects in me. I accept that she's complaining. It is what it is. That's the way the Tao is expressing itself through her. That's the way she is right now. That's where she is in her stage of evolution. That's where she is in life right now. I accept. She's manifesting that way. That's the way the drama is playing itself right now. Here is mom, here is son, and here is mom saying, things that she is not accepting about son. I accept her non-acceptance. How about that one? Accepting people's non-acceptance. That's a difficult one. You just accept things as they are. I accept, I accept, I accept, I accept. And you could even use that as a mantra. I accept your non-acceptance. I accept your acceptance. You just go on accepting everything. Okay? It is what it is. It's the way, it's the Tao. It's complete, it's perfect. Everything is perfect. The drama is complete, it's scripted, it's done, it's perfect, it's just playing itself out. It is what it is. It's the way, it's the Tao. It is what it is. There's another powerful mantra. It is what it is. And in that understanding, you can begin to take things less and less personally. Because you realize that it is never has anything to do with the particular expression of the Tao through you. It simply has to do with the lack of acceptance of that other being, which you have taken their comments personally, of themselves, which ultimately is of life. Okay? So To be able to practically do that, first watch this video again, understand what I just said, and then begin to accept things. Observe your mind, see where it's stuck. Observe your thoughts, see every time you judge someone else, then you're automatically judging yourself. So then you say, what am I judging myself for? And then you say, what am I not accepting myself for? And then you say, hold on, let's go to the macrocosm. What am I not accepting in creation? What am I not accepting in life? And that's when it becomes interesting. And that's when you begin to accept things as they are, and then accept others' non-acceptance, because it's an acknowledgement that that's where they are in the journey. That's how the drama's playing itself out. It's all scripted anyway. So I'm gonna accept your acceptance. I don't have to like it. I don't have to pretend, put a front that you like it. You know, but you just say, well, it is what it is. There's a bit of an indifference about it actually. It's more like, I accept your non-acceptance. I'm not ecstatic about it. I'm not happy about it. You know, it would be nice if we were both accepting of everything, because we would have a ball together. We'd have an absolute blast. Everything would be perfect. It would be like we would be like Adam and Eve back again in the Garden of Eden, having not ate the apple yet, just blissfully living out our lives. Blissfully. I mean, it would be nice if you accepted the way things are, and then if you accept the way things are, you would accept how the Tao expresses itself through you, then automatically you would accept how the Tao is expressing through me, and we'd be having a ball right now. It would be a blast. We'd be a blast. We would have a terrible time not laughing, not being joyful and marvel at everything. It would be nice, but I guess that's not how the drama's playing itself out in this particular case. So you know what? I may not have to like it, but I accept it. I accept your not acceptance of myself, and not acceptance of life, and not acceptance of yourself. I accept it. I accept it. Okay? This reminds me of one episode in Seinfeld where Kramer's always basically going into Jerry's apartment and raiding his fridge and using his stuff, right? So Jerry was on this really strict diet, and Kramer walks in with this funny way of walking in, and opens the fridge and sees all this healthy stuff, right? Like fruits and vegetables and stuff. And Kramer being the moocher, he's still eating the food, right? And then Jerry walks in the apartment, and Kramer's like, what's going on? Like, what's all this food? Like, where is all the delicious stuff? And Jerry's like, I'm on a strict diet. I've been gaining weight, this and that. And Kramer looks at him and he's like, I may not have to like it, or I may have to eat it, but I don't have to like it. So it's the same thing. You may have to, you don't have to like it, but you still eat it. Just like Kramer was eating the food that he didn't like from the fridge, but because Kramer is a moocher, he may not have to like the food, but he's eating it. But he's still eating the food that he doesn't like. It's the same way. You may not have to like what others have to say about you. You may prefer that everybody's in total acceptance and we're living in heaven, but you accept it. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's how they are. That's how they're expressing that. It is what it is. You just do you. Work on you. Work on your acceptance. Work on your acceptance of things as they are. Really, just work on that. Because if you could work on accepting life, work on accepting suffering, accept evil, accept good, accept duality, accept it all. And then these things will naturally be accepted, because if you accept the bigger things in life, you'll accept the smaller things. Like somebody makes a little comment about your whatever, something in your mannerism, for example. Like you're too loud. I get that a lot. Because I'm pretty loud. I mean, why else do I make videos? Look, I'm screaming in my videos. I must have been a pastor in a past life or something. So I get that a lot. I get so many neighbor complaints over time in my life. Okay? And I get that a lot. You're being too loud. I don't pay it no mind, because it is what it is. That's the way that and you know what? If it annoys somebody else, it annoys somebody else. That's gonna challenge their attachments to how it should be, as opposed to how it is. Okay. Thank you to all our lovely Patreons for their continued support. Some of you guys have been supporting now for many, many, many months. And I really want to thank you guys for doing that. You guys are awesome. You guys are fantastic people. And I have no doubt that in the future, at some point, we will have enough funds so that I could do this full time. So, my sincere, deepest gratitude towards all of you Patreons. And if pledging your support with as little as $2 a month isn't something on your radar, you could always just show your appreciation with a one-time donation via PayPal. So there is the links for the Patreon, the links for the PayPal one-time donations or Patreon in the description. All the love to all of you guys, and until next time, may the force be with you.